I have today? Tropical Symphony from Reprise Roasters, Chicago. Oh, absolutely. Sometimes a pour over. Not today, though. Yeah, yeah. You can't beat good coffee. Oh, okay. Alabama A&M. Great challenge. Great challenge. Play extremely hard. They are beyond deep. Play 13 guys. I got to a point watching film, they all looked alike. I've got two very, 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 very quick, tiny guards who can really get it going. They will throw full court pressure at us, run and jump for 40 minutes. And I say that, and they're not a small team either. They're 7 foot, 295 center. But it is a 40 minutes of relentless pressure. They'll mix it up. They have played a little bit of zone, but they're one of the top teams in the country in forcing turnovers. Just shy of 18 a game, I think, or right at it, which is a lot. So we'll have to be extremely ball tough. You're going to have to make basketball plays. They're going to be in hard denial, very similar to the way we were first couple of years, trying to take everything away. They're just you have to expect the unexpected with them on the defensive side, and so we've got to keep great spacing. We've got to play with great pace. We've got to play with great ball toughness, and be excited to see. And then we've got to do a good job on their perimeter guys because they can really get going shooting it. So, great challenge for our guys.
Coach, was this a good point in the season to have the week break between games, and how did you approach it?
I'd love to have a week off between just about every game. It's a little more difficult, Doug, because of finals. Now, once we get out of finals, we can. I think we had 2 guys this afternoon with finals, so we took Wednesday off. We did nothing. Everybody on our team had a massive day of finals Tuesday and Wednesday. We didn't practice Tuesday night till Tuesday night. A little shorter, abrupt workout, but it was a good week of practice. It's also a mentally challenging week of practice from the academic side. Once we get through this finals thing, then we can really hone in.
To the points you raised post game on Saturday, how do you think your team is responding?
We'll find out tomorrow. It's been good. I've said it. Nothing's bigger than our culture, and Coleman's got to be a keeper of our culture and a leader, and the accountability is what I was frustrated with. If you go watch anything from our secret scrimmage to the game at Texas, effort-wise, and watch the other night, you'll see why I was upset. And I can get beat. I don't like it, but not that way. Not even trying. And that started the first possession of the game. So we've had conversations about those things, and they're unacceptable. It wasn't easy emotionally. I get it, but we got to be bigger than that, and we got to accept any challenge, and we didn't meet that challenge very well.
Coleman mentioned that he met with some members of the staff to try to find the right approach as a leader. What approach do you want him to take?
it's not about what I want. It's about what he's capable of. And I mean, he's got to do that within his personality. You can't go be, Io. Io was in your face and he would fight you, and that's not him. Where Trent was more just demanding and effort and led by example, and that's Coleman. And Coleman will say stuff, and he's got to just be a voice to understand what our expectation is and what our level of and what's established our culture. And if he does that, then we'll be fine. And I expect that same thing from Terrence. And Terrence has got a great voice in our locker room. And you can't have those two guys not be leaders, they're the experienced guys. I didn't get on the freshmen. I got on the veterans. And I was disappointed in them. So, I guess excuse me for wanting Terrence Shannon to play with the effort that got him 10 rebounds in one half against UCLA and goes 8 for 9. That's my expectation. Anything else, not gonna be that. Coleman's been in our program for 3 years. He's been a part of a lot of things he should know. So shame on me for expecting him to be that guy. Gosh, you guys are letting me off easy. I mean,
Coleman, mentioned it in the last couple of years. There have been early season games, maybe like Penn State, where you got knocked around and maybe the effort wasn't there, and you had similar reactions. Just what did maybe those previous teams do to respond that this team needs to as well?
Yeah, non-conference basketball is hard. Non-conference games are really hard, and nobody pays attention to it. But you're crammed. The games are just come at you, one right after another. And then, in our case, we sandwich maybe the biggest non-conference event of the year in between 2 league games, and then win it in overtime against the second-ranked team in the country in the Garden. And now you got to turn around, and that's not an excuse. But we've had those lapses, and it happens because of practice. You don't get to practice. You don't get to continue to work on your base things and get better. You start throwing in all the days off that you have to take off, and the mental drain, and all of a sudden you're a little tired, and now your fundamentals go, and now you're not playing as hard, and those things all lead into that. And we've had them. You're still trying to find yourself. The Cincinnati game last year. We played 3 or 4 games without Kofi, and then Kofi comes back, and we're trying to figure our team out, and everybody's roles then become different. And now this year we've always had those, and it's a process. You're not just going to be a refined, fine-tuned machine every single day, as much as we strive for that. But you address. That's why we play the games we play. You address them, and now you've got to. It's unfortunate it happened in a league game, but we can't get it back. So we got to grow and learn to fight in another day.
When rosters have such overturn, just across college basketball, and obviously no different here, how important is it to have those kind of torchbearers of that culture like Coleman, Luke, RJ, and how difficult is it to amplify that in these early parts of the season to some of those newcomers?
Yeah, it's what petrifies me for the future. It's what scares me to death for the future. I've built everything I've ever done has been based on being able to have those guys, and that's why it's so hard to rebuild. If you ever have to do it, you have to establish what your culture is, what your convictions are, and having players back who know all those things help the new guys grow. And I say if a coach has to lead, they're never going to be very good, and that's in any sport. And so that's one of the worst things about the portal that you struggle with is you've got to find dominant personalities earlier and find those guys in the portal or wherever you find them. It's talents, neither here nor there if you can't have your base culture. So it's hard. My expectation level for veterans, I know how good of people we have, I know how good of guys we have, and that's why I'm leaning on those on Terrence, who's a new guy, and Coleman. And we need more from RJ. We need more from Luke. Those guys have been through that. They were part of a championship.
Talked about building up on fundamentals. Coleman said you were adding in some new wrinkles offensively. What kind of adjustments or changes did you guys kind of make on that end this week?
I'll tell you tomorrow after the game or whatever. But yeah, I'm not. We got to play faster. We got to get back to our speed. Our speed was electric early, and now we're not playing that. We're trying to clean up transition a lot.
Obviously, it'll matter, tomorrow, and you'll kind of see the effort if they have it tomorrow or not. But have you noticed a change of pace with your team this past week?
Oh yeah, we've had a positive week. We've ensured that that's happened. We've had a week that I enjoy as a coach. We've had enough time to emphasize certain things and demand the effort that it takes to win, and we've set the standard. We've done that against Syracuse. We've done that against UCLA. Virginia's might be one of the two best teams in the country. We might have played both of them, and did it for a long time. And the standard has been set. It's just now replicating that and making that, as we say in our program, an everyday guy. And you can't be an everyday guy if you don't show up and do it every day, and then you're a fraud.
I know you mentioned Luke. How is he progressing, and when was his most recent follow-up, and do you have any timeline there?
No, he hasn't had one. He's had a couple. He's had one. He's doing great. Now he's back in our new toy, that underwater treadmill deal. He's in there, and he's doing light running in there. That reduces your body weight. He's been on an elliptical. He's working extremely hard with Fletch. And to be very honest with you, I don't know when his follow-up is. It's a couple weeks, I think. I think it's after Christmas. So or first of the year. So we'll get him to that point. But he's been relentless in his efforts.
You made a pretty poignant comment after Penn State that if I have to do this, we're in trouble. Are you seeing signs, at least this week, that there are guys who wear jerseys that are going to take it from you?
We'll see. We'll see. I'd love to be able to say, yeah. I mean, today, this week, yeah. This week, yeah. But when it's in the locker room and I'm not here, and it's in the apartments, and it's around, and it's when I'm not around, those are the accountability things that great leaders do, and they make it a point to make it important to everybody, and it's not just go through life ho hum. Oh, I'm worried about me, and I'm worried about it's the little things that, okay, man, God, we're getting ready to go to here. Here's an intricate thing about this place, or here's something about the way we travel, or it doesn't have to be. But man, hey, when we run this play at this time, this is what we're looking for. And it's just guys thinking about others all the time, and that's what really good leaders do. It's not about them. It's about helping others as well.
I know you had a quote in the statement, but how did the Tennessee home and home come about, and just what's your stance on home and homes versus some of those neutral site games like that?
Yeah, I've known Rick for a long time. Rick's become a guy that I have tremendous appreciation for. I think he was, don't quote me exactly, 16 of 17 NCAA tournaments at Texas. Obviously, the job he did prior to getting there got him that job. So he was very successful. He's a guy I've had a lot of respect for. When I was at SFA, we played. He always played us, and we talk on the road. He's a guy that I have a lot of respect for. And then it's really simple. Not that I'm not a fan of neutral site, but I love home and homes. And our students and our fans deserve to see us play the very best in our buildings. And with the obvious choice that we don't have the challenge anymore, it gives us flexibility, especially for when the league games may happen, but it also gives us flexibility in scheduling non-league games. It gives us the possibility now to maybe play a 3-team MTE, which I'm dead against with the ACC Challenge and 2 Big Ten games. It takes too much time. But that does open up some things. I don't think we're done. You guys all know I'm going to play a really hard schedule. I don't want to play a whole lot of games that I like finding out who we are, and we'll definitely find out against Tennessee. Great venues, got great facility. Rick's got that thing humming at a high level, and it should be a game that is exciting for their fans as well as ours. And they'll put 23,000 in their building, and we'll put 16 in ours, and it'll be great for college basketball.
Coach, it seemed like for long stretches the ball really didn't find Terrence Shannon in that game. Is that up to him to find those opportunities, or is there
Both.
something you can do to dial up some of those plays?
Both. We got to do a better job. I got to do a better job. I got to get Terrence the ball, and but he's got to put himself in those positions. Terrence got a lot early because of his speed and his running, and in transition, and we've got to get him back to that. He got a lot early because he was rebounding the basketball at a very high level, and he was pushing it in transition. We haven't done that, but in the half court we got to help him some.
You said after a few games this year that you just didn't get into the press. What has maybe stymied the team maybe in those situations?
Effort. Want to. We scrimmaged Kansas. We got into that thing every single time. We were excited about it. It's effort. And the reality is we haven't offensive rebounded worth 2 rips in the last 3 games. And when you go to the glass, that's been another point of emphasis this week. When you go to the glass, you're right there. Can't have Coleman backpedaling from the top of the key to half court when he's the point of the press. And so it's commitment. We've demanded it. It's become one of our conviction points, and we've got to do a better job.
To this point, has Terrence handled your comments and viral fart noise directed at his leadership?
Is that what that was?
The way that you wanted?
Sure, he's a great kid. You guys all see that, and everybody sees that, and he's mature. You guys see the other conversations I have with him, and he knows my expectation is for him to be the best. I also said he was one of the best players in the country, and he was probably the best player in the country the night that we played UCLA. And again, he knows that's my expectation. Anything else, I'm going to keep pushing him to be that. And that's my job as a coach. That's the title of coach. Make guys uncomfortable so they can be the very best they can be. And that's all I want for Terrence, and he knows that. He actually kind of thought it was funny.
Are you okay with where Ty is right now from a confidence or a mental standpoint, or is this normal, the first 2 months of a freshman year in your mind?
Yeah, very. And he's going to be really, really good, and he's had a great week of practice. I think there's always the struggles of finding out what you can and can't do, and then there's always the factors that come in once games start, how you get scouted, and how people play you. And he's a perfectionist, and it's an imperfect game, and you can't dwell on that stuff. He's worried about certain issues, but we got to get him to just cut loose, just play, let his instincts take over, and his passing and his feel and his cutting, and just go play. I mean, here's a kid that I think went 13 straight days of leading us in rebounding. We need Ty, and we need his athleticism, his length, his toughness.